right. Okay, now let's quickly go into velocity time graph. Okay, so now, yeah. So here in this question, they're actually asking you about the total distance covered. So this thing is actually very simple. Yes. So from this graph, you are actually trying to calculate the total, all the distance that is covered. That's what they are asking you here. So what you will now do here is that, you see, you break this graph into sections. You have, for example, now look at it here. You have your section 1, as you can see. You have your section 2. Let's put it like this: S1, S2. Then you have your section 3. Can you see that it's in section already? Then you have your what? Section 4. Are you with me? So since you're having section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, what do? You will now do what? You will now calculate the total distance covered. So meaning that the distance that is covered in S1, added, you add it to the total distance covered in S2. You had data here with total of S3, then you have the total of S3, also the total of S4. So the overall total is what they are now asking you in the question. What do? You now go, you now try to, for example, now you have a right angle triangle, like from here, from this section, as you can see, I can simply draw it out. I have something like this in my question. Are you with me? Making this your what? Your section 1. Then you have your what? Your section 2 also. Your section 2 is a cutout that look like a trapezium. So which is this? When you have it like something like this. Alright. Trace this down. Right, as it is in the graph. So you have it like this. Alright. Now you still have a rectangle. So as you can see, it's a rectangle. Alright. So yeah, a rectangle. Then lastly, you have this your section 4. Alright, which is your right angle again. Triangle. So now you can see that it's in. So this is S1. This is that's your section 1. This is your section 2. This is your section 3. And this is your section 4. That's the first step. So you have to like break them into section. Alright, I want to know my total distance covered. So I have to like break them into small sections. So if I break them down into small sections, I'm not going to solve for each of these sections. So let's solve for section 1. And how do you know the formula that you will use for section 1? The formula that you use for section 1, for example, now section 1 is a right angle triangle, right? So if section 1 is a right angle triangle, meaning that for every right angle triangle, you'll be using what? Your 1/2 base times height. Are you with me? 1/2 base. So, but for every trapezium that look like this, you'll be using your 1/2, your h1 plus h2, then into bracket of what? B. And this formula is actually coming from my HB pencil that they say we should be using in JAMB. See, all these things, they are very easy. So this HB pencil is actually coming from my what? From that pencil that I'm using. No, so now H1 plus H2 into B, bringing us to HB. Now, my S3, are you with me? S3 is that rectangle they taught us back then in primary 4, when they were telling us length times breadth, that will be solving many questions. We call it simple because anytime they give us like this, we'll just be doing our length times what times breadth. So since we are doing our length times breadth, now our rectangle is just giving our results. Length times. See, this thing is very simple. It's very simple. Very simple. So now, and your right angle triangle is giving us what? This. So I think all these things are things you know. Alright. So I think we can go into questions now. The sweet aspects. So the sweet aspects of what? Of this question. Now let's begin to solve. Now I want to solve for my section 1. This is my section 1, alright? This is my section 1. And in my section 1, this is my cutout section. This one to this one to this one. Are you with me? I think let me check for another marker. I'm coming. Yeah. So this one, yeah, this one from here to here. Are you with me? To here. Back to here. This marker, there's no marker inside again. But you guys should see it now. So from here to here, then to here to here. I believe I'm trying to teach you guys like a small baby so that you can understand. So this is the only section that we are needing for session 1. So if you are needing only this section for session 1, what will you do? What you will do is that you now look at it. Where is my base? Where is my height? Since the formula for S1 says your S1 is saying half base times height. Since your formula is saying half base times height, you now look at it that where's my base, where's my height? My base, this is my base here. My base will be my bottom. You get like the underneath of something, like the base of something. So simply, this is my base here. So from 0 to 5 in the cutout section is my base. Sure you get. So simply 0 to 5, that's your 5 minus 0. So if something is having a distance from here to here, we would actually do what? We subtract the two distance and we'll get one distance from the two distance. Meaning that my 5 minus 0 is what? Is 5. So my base here is what? Is 5. So 1 over 2 multiplied by 5. Then what? Multiplied by my height. What's my height? What's height? Height is something like from, you are looking at that height from this aspect, like how high something is from here, how high, like how high that thing is, that's your section. How high is it? How high is it? So that's what they are talking about here. So are you going to go back to this place? No. Are you going to go back here? Yes, because that's your height. Is either you go back here or you come here. So if you are coming here, you are actually tracing it here. So for your cutout section, you are tracing it here, which gives you what? Your 10. And if you choose to come to the vertical side here, which is in this case, you still trace it back to 10 for your S1 section. Meaning that your height here is what? Is 10. Are you with me? Are you with me? So we are still doing for S1. Alright. So my S1 is simply my 1 over 2. Alright. Multiply 5 times 10 is 50. Then from here you can know, just press it in your calculator. That's your 50 divided by 2 like that. You get your 25. Then yeah, so that's your 25 meters. And that's how we get for section 1. So my section 1 here is 25 meters. So now what will we do? We will now move to section 2. Are you with me? Section 2. So let's take notes. This is section 1. Please, let's take notes. Section 1. This is section 1. So let's go to section 2 now. Section 2 is when we are trying to look at what's it called? The second house. And this is the second house here. The second house is looking like a what? Like a trapezium. And the formula we would use is our HB what? Pencil. Meaning that my what? 1/2 into bracket of my h1 plus my h2 into bracket of what? B. As simple as it is. This thing is easy, like seriously, very easy, very easy, very easy. So my half into bracket of h1 plus h2b coming from my hb pencil that I do use for JAMB. You get, that's what you use for JAMB. So that means that my h is 2, that's h1 plus h2 into bracket of b. Then you just put this one at the back. This is very simple. I don't just know why physics is just extra simple. So now I think the next thing is for me to now locate my height. How would you locate your height? Let me clean it so I can surely. Alright. So how would you locate your height? This is how I would locate my height, because I'm trying to solve for my S2. Please don't forget my S2. This is what we want to use to solve my S2 1/2 H1 plus H2B. So now, how would I solve for my S2? Don't forget, this is your S2, your second section. So now, this is how I will solve. That's your H1. From here, I told you that height is how high something is. How high? Are you with me? How high something is. And if you are looking at how high something is, you now go back to your graph and check how high that your section is. How high is that section? This is your section. This is your cutout section here. From here to here to here to here is your what? Is your cutout section. Mean that you are having your height 1 from here. This is your height 1. Are you with me? It's coming from here. Then it does not stop at this height. It now moves to another height here. Meaning that we are having 2 heights. And my h1 will arise from here. That means my h1 is 10. Are you with me? I don't know. Are you getting this thing? So that means this is your what? Your 10. Your h1 is 10. So simply 1 divided by 2 into bracket of my h1 is what? 10. Then plus what is my h2? Go back to the graph. So we are looking at our S2 house. So inside this house, what is my second height? This is my second height here. In this same house, we have 2 heights. The first height is going up to this place. I trace it back here and I get my 10. The second height is actually going up from here to here. And then when I trace it back to my vertical side, I got 25. Are you with me? Can you see? My second height, my first height. My first height is 10, while my second height is what? 25. So 25. Now you now put that your 25 on that H2 here. Now go and check for base 25. This marker should write to I don't have another marker to do. So the base, should we call it base or base? Alright, anyone you call it there. So let me call it base, because I'm actually looking at the bottom of this my section. So this my section, the bottom is from what? Where is my section? Oh, this is the first section. So the second section, S2. Let's try to look from the bottom. Section S2. This is the bottom of section S2. And the bottom of section S2 ranges from what? 5 to 20. And if we are having two distances, D1 and D2, what will be our, if you want to make it 1, if you want to resolve these two distances to 1, just subtract it. That's your 20 minus what? Minus 5. So your 20 minus 5 is actually giving you what? 15. Meaning that the base of section 2 is 15. Very simple. Very what? Simple. So your base here is 15. Are you with me? 15. Now begin to solve. Press your calculator. You should press your 10 plus 25, then that's your 35, then press your calculator, multiply it by 15, then divide by 2, and get your answer. I think that should give you 262.5. 262.5 meters. So we have gotten for section 2 like that. So don't forget, this is section 1, this is section 2. All right, the board is quite small, so I need to manage. All right, let me just go to section 3. I hope you guys are getting the scope. So this is section 1. This is section 1. We've done for section 1. This is section 2. Let's go to section 3. Are you with me? Section 3. Section 3. Yeah. My section 3 is actually from this cutout section here. Are you with me? From this cutout section here. From this cutout section here, which is by what? Which happens to be my rectangle. So meaning that it's moving from here to here to here to here. So and then my S3 will be given as length times breadth, because that's the area of a what? A rectangle. That's the area of a rectangle. Are you with me? The area of a rectangle. So they taught us this thing in primary 4, primary 5, and if you spent primary 6 also, that means you are good. They taught you. So yeah, this thing is very simple, very simple. Now my length, if you look at this, I think my length is actually kind of similar to, you know, my height. It's not having the same definition, but the way I will get my height is also the same way I will get my length. Why? Because my length will be traced to something like this. So if you are tracing your length inside this F3 like this, that means if you trace it up, you'd like find it back to this side. Are you with me? Are you with me? So meaning that your length here is what? 25. Your length here is what? 25. 20 what? 25. 25. Alright, so I hope you understand now. Like in this cutout section, my length is similar to like looking for your height. So if you are looking for length of this cutout section, so just look, find it as if you are looking for your height. So and I place it down to 25 like that. So yeah, 25 multiplied by my breadth. So my breadth is something similar to my base, meaning that I'll come to my bottom here. So my bottom, I told you, if you're having two something like this, if you want to look for, if you want to make it one, just simply subtract. This is your house that you're looking for, your S3, your section 3. So in this section 3, what's connecting the section 3 is 90 and 20. Then your 90 minus 20 is 70. So my breadth here now is now 70. Jesus, this thing you don't want to write, but you must write by force. So I must use you and finish this lecture video by force. So multiply this on your calculator. You should have 1750, so in meters. So we successfully solved for S3. So you solved for S1, you solved for S2, you solved for S3, then now S4, my fourth house. So it's after this my fourth session that I'll now go and do what? I'll now go and add all my answers, then I will now get the total distance covered. This thing is very simple. So what do? I will now say, I will say my S4. My S4 house, look at it now. This is a right angled triangle now. So if this is a right angled triangle, that means my formula is just my half 1/2 base times height. Very simple. 1/2 base, the same thing we use here. So this one is just the deceleration part. So it's the acceleration part, sharp. So you get. So now let's move. So what's it called? My half base. Like I told you what base is already, like the bumper or something. That means the bumper of this house here is from 90 to 110. And then when I told you, when you are seeing two something like this, how will you make it one? You just simply subtract. So you should be able to do this one by yourself. So subtract this one and this one, you get your what? Your base. Then what will be your height? I told you that your height is just how high something is. So you come to this, how high your something is. Then you look look at how high it is, then at this point you trace it back down here. You are getting me now? So your height here, how will you know the number? Just trace it down back to the vertical axis and you get your what? Your 25. So that means you have 1/2 multiplied by this one minus this one will be for your base, then your height will be your this one. Are you with me? Press your calculator. Press your calculator. So if you are subtracting 90 from 110, what will be your answer? What will be your answer? Yeah, so now from your calculator like that, you know that your 110 minus 90 should be 20. Then how do I say we'll get our height now? So if it's coming up here, what will be the number? Maybe you are not seeing any number here. Since you are not seeing any number, trace it back. You see the number here, which is 25. So I believe even small child can understand what I've explained. 25. So my 1/2 multiplied by 20 multiplied by 25 will give you what? Press your calculator. So if you press your calculator, let's see what the answer would be. I think the answer should be 250. Press your calculator. That's 250, right? So here, 250 meters for my S3. So now let's add. Let's add our first house, our second house, which is our second session, our third house, this is our third session, and the value of our fourth house, which is the fourth session. We'll add all of them together and we'll get our total distance covered. Let's begin to add. So as you begin to add, you start from S1. This is my S1. Your S1 is what? 25. So that means my 25 plus, what's my S2? My S2, this is where we solve for S2, and it is 262.5, 262.5 plus my S3. Where do we solve for S3 the other time? My S3, this is a rectangle, this rectangle, so this is it here. My S3, 1750, then plus the S4. Where's my S4? My S4 is where do we solve for S4? We solve for S4 here. Try to manage the board. So then the value is 250. So you add. So that means my total distance covered is the addition of your S1 plus S2 plus S3 plus S4. So there is no S5 sharp. So that would be your total distance was covered. Are you with me? So my total distance covered will now be, press your calculator. Press your calculator. What is the answer? You should have something like 228.7.5. 228.7.5. That's 228.7. What's the unit of distance? Meter. So that's that about velocity time graph. If you have not registered for premium class, I'm sure you do, because this is what they are enjoying every day. Right. This is what we are meant to do. It's a blessed day. Oh my God. Yeah. Now, so we'll be looking at another question, which is the second question here. Alright, so say an object starts from rest, reaches. So now this is it. This is how to draw it. Firstly, you are knowing that you have to know that you're actually drawing a velocity to time graph. So your velocity will be here. Your velocity to time. Velocity against time. Jesus, this thing you don't want to write to. Let me go and take another one. Or let's manage it like that. Oh my god. So I'm trying to plot our velocity against time. So 10 seconds. My velocity in meter per seconds. Meter per seconds. So it said an object starts from rest. So that means the body will start from 0 here. This is 0. Alright, this is 0. So it will now start. That means it starts moving from rest until now reach a velocity. So it's going until it reach a certain velocity of, let's trace it here, of 32. This is the velocity. Don't forget your vertical is your velocity. So 32 meters per second like that. So then that's that it maintains this velocity. That means that it maintains this same velocity. It keeps going with this same 32 as it is going. Maintains for another 11 seconds. That means that, so like it said, reaches a velocity of 32 meters per second after 11 seconds. Don't forget to add the time now. I already forgot before. So 11 seconds. So your 11 will be here. 11. Now says that maintains this velocity for another 11 seconds. So it's actually maintaining that velocity again for another 11. So when it says another, another 11. So it's not as if you now come here and write 11. If you write 11 like this, you are wrong. It says another 11. So meaning that your first time will be added to that another 11 that they are talking about. So it says another 11. That means this your 11 that they gave you before, plus the new 11. 11 plus 11, which is what? 22. So your 22 will be here like that. So you don't go and write 11, you add to the first time that was given. So now says that, and then finally comes to rest with the total time. Like it's come back to rest. It came down like this to rest, like to rest. So it comes down to rest with the total time of motion being 50 seconds. So the total time it you spend, for it to come down sharp is what? 50 seconds. Sure you get. So I think, let me change my marker first. To change my marker. So this is my marker here. My marker is here. So now that's that about the graph. I don't think you guys see this thing very well. But like so this is it here. So this is it. Let me just try to use this blue this thing on it. Then you guys can actually see it very well. So 11 seconds is here, 22 seconds is here, 50 seconds is here, like that. So now let's now begin to solve. What did they say we should look for? Draw the velocity time graph. And the second one says, what is the total distance covered? What is the total distance covered? So just like we did for the first one, you get, just like we did for the first one, we'll be doing for this one also. So now that we are looking for the total distance covered again, we just do for the house. Like I told you, you check your house. They gave you house 1. Now look at this now. House 1. They gave you house 2. And they gave you house 3. So what's now the stress? You don't need to stress yourself. You don't even need to stress yourself at all. What you just need to do is that you have to now say my house 1 is in right angle triangle, and simply my formula would be half what? Base times height. So this is my second house here, which is a rectangle. I'm using my primary school formula, which is just simply my length times breadth. And then my third house here, which is still my right angle triangle, like the one of the acceleration part, which will simply be what my what is it called, my half base times height. Are you with me? This thing, I don't just know why it's very simple like this. So now let's now begin to solve. It's doing me as if I should be solving. So now my 1/2 multiplied by my base. What is my base? My base is the bonbon of that my house. This is my house and this is the bonbon of my house. The bonbon of my house is 11 and 0. My 11 minus 0 is 11. Are you with me? Meaning that my base is 11 multiplied by my height. What do I call height for you? That means this my height is actually going up. So inside my house, inside this same house, I have my height that is going up, that is actually going up from here, and it actually stops from here. It stops, the house actually end here. That's why we trace this one here, and when we trace this one here, we find out that the height is what? 32. And since the height is 32, so that's 1/2 multiplied by 11 multiplied by the height, which is 32. So press this into your calculator. Be fast. 1/2 multiplied by 11 multiplied by 32. So you should have your answer. As 176. 176. Now let's now move. So for our S1 is 176. Now let's look for our S2. Our S2 is simply my length times breadth, and I told you what your length is. Your length is also similar. It's also looking like as if you are looking for your height. So if I'm looking for my height here, I will simply trace like this. I'll trace up. So me trying to trace the thing up to look for my length in this house now. If I trace it up, it will still fall me back to 32. So my 32 multiplied by my breadth. My breadth B is similar to my base. So meaning that this breadth is actually going to the bottom again, to the bottom. So the bottom of this house is simply running from 11 here to 22. Meaning that my 22 subtracted from 11, which actually would arrive me back here. 11. So 32 multiplied by 11 is my length times breadth. So what's the, press your calculator fast. 32 times 11. 32 multiplied by 11. I think the answer should be 352. 352. So your answer here is 352. So your S2 is 352. So our S3 is our third house here, and our third house here is simply, the formula we use is simply 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 was base times height. Now let's go. What will be your base now? Your base here is ranging from the bottom now. So from 50 to 22, or let's say from 22 to 50 sharp. So your 50 minus 22 in this house is the one that will give you your base, in which your 50 minus 22 should be 28. Then what's your height? I told you what your height would always be now. Your height, like you are from down to up like this, your height of something, how high something is. Look at this, is where the height end. Meaning that you have to trace it to where the number is. Where is the number? You are tracing it here. So meaning that as I am tracing, so you have 32 sharp. So multiply by 32. So 1 divided by 2 multiplied by 28 multiplied by sharp 32. Press your calculator. What is your answer? You should have something like 448. 448 meters. So your S3 is what? 448. So you now begin to now add these distances together. So S1 plus S2 plus S3. Meaning that you have your 176 plus 352 plus 448. So adding these three together, you'd have 900 and what? Press your calculator fast. Press your calculator fast. You have 976 meters. So that's the total distance traveled. So you guys, if you want to know for velocity time graph, if you want to know, like the second one which is find the average velocity, guys should do what you are meant to do. Alright, it's a surgical medic and is what quoting for you. Quoting for you.